All right, here we are. I think it's episode 29. I'm here with Amanda Yates, who lost her son Simon, who is forever 22. So I wanted to introduce Amanda and just tell us a little bit about Simon and kind of what happened and why we're sitting here today.
Yes, yes. Good evening, Mike. Simon, I often say I don't know where really to begin. He was a character. He was the light of our lives. He he was the center of the family. Hilarious, um, huge heart. Um, just loved to make everybody laugh and everybody feel like they was a part of us. Yeah, good kid. Rotten, but basically a good kid. Yeah.
I think we've all been rotten in our lives at some point. So
No, uh,
whether it's the terrible twos
mischievous,
or
mischievous.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He was. But Simon kindly grew up around the opioid epidemic. Our area was targeted and hit hard, devastating. There isn't a family where I am from that has not been affected directly or someone in their immediate family by therefore, the trickle effect, ripple effect affects everyone. So Simon had seen,
Well, let's back it because let people know what people do know about this nationally is you're in the coal mining area.
yes, sir,
Yeah.
the Appalachian Mountains,
Yeah.
yes, sir, southwestern Virginia. When somebody says Virginia, they sort of think of northern Virginia, like DC area, Fairfax, and that is the big area. I always say we should probably be part of Kentucky or West Virginia or Tennessee, rather than Virginia, but we are just barely in Virginia. We're right on the Virginia-Kentucky border.
Right.
Um, yeah,
I think a
on
lot of us, even before our sons died, I mean, everybody, I think at the national level knew of that area as where they first started targeting.
because of Daniel Boone and the Cherokee Indians and all that,
Well,
crossing. That's where they crossed the Alleghanies at.
more of the opioids where they tackle. I mean,
Oh,
that's what they
absolutely.
went after.
Yes. Yes. Well, our area is known for hard workers,
Yeah.
and they push themselves through their injuries to provide for their families. So at first, that's where the opioids came in. It became a household name. They were everyone had OxyContin. Yeah, but my husband and I escaped barely with our lives. He's a disabled coal miner. He became disabled at 33 permanently, and of course that was a huge hit for our family as far as financial is concerned and mental. He enjoyed what he did. Um, and coal mining had came a long way, by the end, and uh, yeah, we had kids, and we was looking forward to a good life, and all of a sudden he was injured. That we barely escaped with our life, and only to lose Simon. Now I I don't blame law enforcement for what happened to Simon.
Well, let's jump back a little bit. So Simon basically, because what you had told me is Simon wanted to, I don't want to say get out, but he moved down to Florida, and
Yes, yes.
that's where this
Well,
all started.
he didn't want to follow his ancestors underground, and he became a lineman. But there's still, that is Appalachia Power has a monopoly over the where you get your power from. So those jobs usually go to people or family. You know how that works. So um, anyway, he came down here hoping to. He wanted to blue collar work, but the money was in the restaurant business here.
Okay.
So he became a server, and there at the end he got a job for a trucking company called Jacobs Trucking, and he was working there, but he didn't want to be a waiter for the rest of his life. But that's what paid bills. So, and he was personable. So he made good money as a server.
Right.
And that's where he met the suspect here in a restaurant. But he was staying here with my parents in Florida. And they're snowbirds. And they stay 6 months of the year in Florida and 6 months in Virginia. So they've been doing that for 17 years.
So
And
basically, he took a pill? Is that what he took? That's
well, yeah, actually, he purchased seven,
okay.
seven. And the boy that is in jail, he was the middleman. He ended up going to his house, picking him up, and they drove maybe a mile. And the boy went in and got those seven
Right.
and brought them back out to Simon. Simon took one, and he gave the suspect one, and then they found five in his wallet. Yes, sir.
So, and he passed away. At,
Yes, sir.
and so what amazed me was I hate to say this, I want to call you the Aaron Brockovich in a way.
Oh, listen, believe it or not, I have got really frustrated and like and tell my I am not Aaron I know. And now they're like, this is Aaron Brockovich. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Because I would get so frustrated and cry and it feels like being thrown to wolves.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like.
But
I
tell me what happened at the sheriff. So the sheriff's office, I guess, in Marion County took over the case, and what went wrong, I guess, that you looked at that they
oh
did
well,
what they did and didn't do, I guess, first.
okay, well, first, sir, right away, well, it took a week to fly Simon's body from here in Florida to Virginia and to have his services. And so, 2 weeks after that, so it'd be 3 weeks after he died, we came down here and asked to meet with a detective on his case. And they sent someone over here to my parents' house, and he ended up being who we find out later was an undercover agent in his 11th week of training. So as soon as he left, I mean, I tell people, had I not been, I guess, uh, involved in a recovering addict, I may not would have known what I know, but he would say things to me and say probably his best thing that he should have done would say, ma'am, this is an open investigation. I can't discuss those things with you. But instead, he would give me just enough information and totally contradict what he said, yesterday. And enough to where I red flagged me. And I was just like, this guy either does not know what he's talking about or he's something's wrong. So as soon as he left, my husband and I took his best friend and his girlfriend out to eat, out to dinner, and we sat there and talked and discussed, and we came up with the suspect. And I called the detective that just or the agent that left, and I told him we know who is responsible. And well, you could have heard a pin drop. He knew, and he knew that I knew. Ma'am, how did you know this? And I said, well, because I just asked a few people some questions. You all did not ask a single question other than on scene that day. And I said, you do realize this is fentanyl, sir? No, no, ma'am. This is oxycodone. No, no, ma'am. I said, sir, he could take double handfuls and he might have to go to the hospital, but he would not be dead. I said, no, 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 you need to test that. I mean, right away. And no. And from there, it got worse. I mean, way worse.
So
Yeah.
when he said oxycodone, it's just because they found the pills and they just
Counterfeit.
basically
Yes.
said,
Yes, sir.
but they weren't tested yet.
No, no. Well, no, sir. They were never tested.
So they just
Yeah.
saw a counterfeit pill and said, "Oh, this is oxy."
Yeah.
But,
Well, they looked them up on drugs.com.
so they didn't even know what an oxy pill looked like.
I'm not sure it's in the police report and it is, on body cam footage. Now, why they did that, I have no idea. No idea.
Well, so basically, what did you do next? Because I remember you talked about the autopsy where you had to show.
Oh, right away. Well, okay. Then fast forward, maybe 6 weeks after that, it would be about 3 weeks after that, I received the tox report and, not a trace of oxy anything. And I called and told the death investigator, look, we got some problems here. This is fentanyl. This is not, no, that's oxycodone. That's oxycodone. I said, but sir, how do you find, how do you overdose on fent or poison from fentanyl, but not a trace of fentanyl on the scene? That's not how that, um, it does not hash out.
So they
Nothing they say, not one or two or three or 10 or 15. Every word they said to me was untrue. It was all I could do at one point to, I would take a little piece here. Well, this happened. That have, I would have to go back and think, okay, I have to look at this as if everything they said was untrue,
right.
because it was that way. Every word they said to me was not so.
So you had proof that it was a fentanyl poisoning, basically.
Yes.
You had
Uh,
fentanyl in the system, and they
yes.
didn't see that. I
6 weeks
mean,
after his death. Yes, sir.
I don't want to say it could be incompetence or they just want to hide things. I don't know. But what you did next is I think you went to the attorney general or the state.
Well, no, actually, I went back to the sheriff's office September, and I sat there in the office and I said, I will sit here until I speak to, I want to talk to his face. I want to see the lead detective on the case. This would have been around September the 7th. And I filed the complaint on the 11th or the 14th. However, come to find out, they had already charged the suspect in August.
And what was the charge? Because that's what threw me,
Using a two-way communication device related to Simon's death.
which means
Even
what?
even a cell phone, using a cell phone.
But I
Mhm.
mean, their charge, that's all his charge was.
Yes, sir. And even the text messages between the two are in that arrest warrant right there on the computer for everyone to see.
But there's no murder charge, drug charge, or anything else.
Nothing. However, 1 month after this, they did make a scheduled buy for marijuana off of the suspect
Okay.
in May of 2023.
So you ended up taking this to the state or the,
Well, fast forward until this is a whole year later. In June of 2024, I realized they closed the case. I had no idea until I had to hire an attorney to get the closed case file from the sheriff's office. That's how I found out that the case was closed. And there was, not so. Let's see, qualified immunity gives them, there's nothing to do. There's no case. So I got the case file, and that was the end of me and the attorney. However, I took that case and this, I mean, I've picked it apart, and here's right here it is.
so
So,
then is that when you took it to the
oh,
state?
yes, yes. And I went myself and went to the state's attorney, and I said, I want to know what you needed. What did you need to prosecute him? Show me right here. He says, ma'am, I've never seen this case. I said, well, they say here that they have spoken to you and that you've read these texts. He says, I've never seen any text messages between your son and the suspect. He said, there is evidence here. He said, I want I want that evidence sent to the FDLE labs, not a field test. I want that sent to the FDLE labs and the Cash App that he used. Let's subpoena that. And they both came back matched up just like a puzzle piece. And then he convened the grand jury, and they charged the suspect they indicted him in December of 2024, a whole year later.
And that when did
Year
he?
and a half, year and a half.
And he's in jail right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Being held without bond.
And then he's going to, because I know you're in Florida, you came down to Florida today, and
Yes,
Thursday is the first hearing. Is that what it is?
yes, sir. Uh-huh. Well, no, not the first hearing. They had a bond hearing in June
Okay.
and denied bail. But I don't know what kind of meeting there is, but a hearing, but there is a hearing.
So you had an arraignment hearing, what he was charged with, denied bail, and then so Thursday they'll probably say we need discovery of evidence,
And
stuff.
probably continue or something. Yeah. The trial was supposed to begin on the 27th, but now he has a new lawyer, a real attorney, and so it just now coming on the case. I'd say they'll continue it, but it will
What,
drag on.
just out of your gut feeling, what is it that you want? Because we've talked a little bit, at this point, you're mad at the sheriff's office, I
Oh,
understand.
I'm livid. Yes, absolutely. They've ceased all communication with me, what little they had to begin with. And why that that's we're supposed to be on the same side. I am a victim.
Right.
Um, that's not okay. It's not acceptable. We have to take what happened here and learn from it. Now, what they did, Mr. Mike, was legal. Uh, it shouldn't be.
Not legal, but not ethical.
Absolutely.
So,
It was absolutely wrong. It was a shame and disgrace to mankind. However, they did do it, and they did it simply because they can. Now
yeah.
that's just that's just all I can say. However, it is fentanyl. It's bigger than my son. It's bigger than that suspect down here. We cannot wait. They did this to hush me up.
Yeah. Well, part of me sits there, and we've talked about this before. Some of it thinks that, oh my God, I've got this woman up in Virginia that's doing my work and showing me that I'm shaming. You're basically shaming them
Oh,
because
I told the guy today I had to get them by the napes of the neck and force them down and do their jobs. I mean, that's yes.
well, you're a mama bear. You're a mama bear, and I trust me. I talk to more mothers than anybody else.
I say not a bear, I'm a jaguar. No, no. But anyway, I have to be. I have no choice.
Yeah.
This was not my job. This is not what I intended for it to be. Now, look, as like I was telling you, it's legal. So as far as getting them down and ripping their badges off, or shame on you, or getting their bosses to jump on them, that's not going to happen. However, I have to advocate. It's my duty. I'm going to see that my son is respected. What went on was unacceptable. That is my child. I'm going to see him out of here to the very best of my ability.
Oh,
It's my duty. But to advocate efficiently and effectively and correctly, I have to know what took place here so that it cannot happen again.
it,
This was disgusting.
that's the whole thing. Is it's nothing can bring back Simon.
No, that's right. And,
But one thing you can do is make sure that the next person gets
not be
justice,
treated like this.
not be
Absolutely.
treated like this. And when we look at a person like a sheriff or a judge, like the case in Texas, you've heard the case in Texas with Karen Sage, it's what we can do is make sure that they don't get elected again. That's the
Correct.
best thing
And
that we
it's
can do.
not just that. There's more. There's more. We, as bad as this sounds, and I didn't want it to come to this. I really haven't, even name dropped on Facebook
I
or
know, and
anything.
we don't. Yeah,
However, that's it. I think it's going to have to come to that. They're going to have to be shamed into it. And
yeah,
just like that Karen Sage, that Judge Karen Sage, shame on her. It does not have to wait until it goes to election. It does not have to wait until that man poisons 3 or 4 more young adults. Absolutely not. She don't need to hear another case.
no, she
If
doesn't.
she's going to pull a stunt like that right there, she don't hear another. She does not need to make a decision on another case. That is appalling, and it's a slap in the face to every one of us.
Well, and I've said this a million times probably since my son has died. Almost, it'll be 5 years in January. We've lost 500,000 people just on record. There's probably more to fentanyl. And there's 10 family members, I always say, to every victim.
Absolutely.
So that means there's 5 million of you and me out there that are family, brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles,
Yes,
whatever.
absolutely.
That's
That
the
stand together and fight. Yes.
largest club in
And
the
not
United
with
States.
violence, not with anything. We have to demand change.
Yeah. We use our voice, you know.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, sir. You're correct. That is that touched me, Mr. Mike, because uh what you said the other night, it made sense. This is not about vengeance. It's not about competition.
right.
This is about our children's lives, the livelihood of our grandchildren, and I know that I might sound like a street corner preacher, but this is the future of mankind.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It
It-
is.
it's
Now, we have a chance. We have we can use this. It's our chance to change the future.
it is. I mean, it's the leading cause of death from 18 to 45. And I remember in April or May of this year, I testified at the Texas Congress hearing or something like that. And I remember everybody was asking, for money from the state and all this kind of stuff. And I never think about what I'm going to say when I speak. But when I sat down, I just said, I just got back from doing 25 waterfalls, driving 9,000 miles, honoring 300 people that had died at a waterfall or died at fentanyl. And
Yeah.
I said, I'm sitting here listening to people asked to grow the state of Texas with money and all this kind of stuff. I said, and I'm sitting here thinking, if the leading cause of death from 18 to 45 is fentanyl, this is the generation that produces the next generation. So
Yes.
if everybody's going to be dead, what are we fighting for? I mean, that's the way I
That
look at
that is exactly what their plan is. They are
it.
wiping out the future leaders,
Yeah,
the future parents.
yeah.
Before, I mean, they're doing this before, we even have to. They don't. They're doing this on purpose, Mr.
Yeah.
Mike.
Oh,
But,
I 100% agree. I mean, I think it started off as let's make some money with the cartel, but now I know the
but
cartels,
now they've taken. Yes, indeed, they have capitalized on it.
oh, they've
Yes,
capitalized on it, but now they're just like, hey, America is the biggest guinea pig in the world that
yeah.
uses drugs. So let's,
And they're wusses. I mean, we are a little bit. I mean, no offense, we've got comfortable. I mean, we have, but this says we got to stop this. This is not okay. Uh, Now I cannot advocate properly if I keep bashing the police. I
no,
know, Mr.
yeah.
Mike, I can't. I mean, I'm not going to get anywhere that way. But in order for me to polish it up any at all, I have to know what happened. And look, whatever happened, it happened. And it's legal and they can. And I've done faced all that. But they're going to have to own it and accept it and say, hey, look, this is what, let's do it this way or that way. Why would they not want to? Why would they not want to learn?
Well, I've learned one thing with politicians and any politician that listens to this, whether you're Republican or Democrat, it's gotten to the point that all politicians think about is the next election and what I can do.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
so I think we need to find, yes, we don't have to be polished or anything. We just have to use our 5 million voices to get out there and say, here's what we want. Either that or you're not getting elected because we do have that power.
Yeah,
And
we do.
it's in every state, 50 states. We've got power. We've got families everywhere. So we have to use our voice and the people that don't, and even to change the laws, like what you're saying, what the police were doing were
They
legal.
have to be shamed into it. That's the only way we're going to get them to do it. That's
Yeah.
it.
And one thing you have to learn is the people that make the laws are politicians, and they also are the ones that usually know how to break them, and they make the laws to help.
Mr. Mike, laws aren't worth the paper that they're
Oh,
written
I know.
on
Yeah, and
unless the police enforce them.
I know, but
You
even
know, and you've also got people, some police officers, just like the one with Mr. Wheeler, Mr. Wheeler's son Spencer's case. They did their job. They did everything what I would wished
right,
that would have happened with Simons. But and even the prosecutors, I mean, they got it all the way there, and
yeah,
for her to do unspeakable,
yeah.
unspeakable. I cannot imagine what they are going through, and horrifying. I'm horrified. But it's I can put myself in their position because of what I went through.
Yeah.
We can do something about this, and we have to, Mr. Mike. We have to.
Well, your voice is going to be heard, and I appreciate you spending the time talking with me. And
Thank
please,
you.
please keep me updated. Call me
You
Thursday.
know I
Let me know
will.
what happens.
You
And
know I will absolutely, and we have to do everybody together. Do you have anybody from North Carolina yet? I have a friend there. If you
I,
don't,
I do not. No,
okay. Well,
need somebody from North Carolina. I
yeah,
do.
Dawn. Her name is Dawn, and she's from here. And she said, "I'm shy. I don't speak. I don't." I said, "I didn't speak in front of crowds either, but we can do this. We
Okay.
we can do this. We can support one another, and yeah, we have to. It's our future depends on it."
Well, thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank
God bless you.
you. We
And
really appreciate you, and thanks for showing heart. Thanks for showing heart, Mr. Mike.
I'm glad of your voice. I loved it, and it's going to affect a lot of people, and a lot of people are going to come forward now with other stuff. So we'll use our voice. So
I mean, no harm to
I
anyone,
know.
not even I want to learn from this, and we got to stop this from happening. I don't even mean harm to them, but
We just use our voice. I mean,
they're
today's
going
the
to tell me the truth. Yeah, truth, 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 truth. Yep, that's right. We got to scream it out from these mountaintops.
well, you guys, I would say have fun down in Florida from Virginia, but I know it's not a fun thing. But
Yeah, this
good
ain't
to
a
see you.
this ain't
Good
a
to see your
fun time,
parents.
but
So
yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mike, so
call me
much.
Thursday and let me know what happens.
I absolutely will.
Okay.
Thanks again.
Take care, Amanda. All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.